completes the lineup. 15 runners. Gates crash open and they're sent on their way from that 1,000 meter mark in the first race of the afternoon to a pretty level beginning. Towards the middle of the track, Strata responded quite well. Doch and Doris, as well as Sidley, showed good amounts of early pace. Towards the inside, Blue Holly now pushes forward into a handier position. Racing just off the early pace, we've got Peace Frog as well as See You in a Bit. The Charleston's right along the inside running rail. Deeper out on the track, Runway Bomb's now pushed forward into a handy position as they're into the final 500 meters. Runway Bomb towards the outside, the Charleston on the inside. Those two up there in the firing line. Blue Holly's also in the leading trio. Just off the pace, you've got See You in a Bit racing with Doch and Doris. Then comes Peace Frog. Further back and running to Sidley as now the Charleston starts to move up into a promising position. The Charleston as well as Blue Holly, these two have started long clear of the rest of the field. On the inside, it's the Charleston with Blue Holly. The Charleston has a half a length advantage and now starts to lengthen his stride. And the Charleston's going to gear down to win going away here. Second place going to go to Blue Holly. Then came Sidley. Running on next best was Strata, followed by Doch and Doris. Then came See You in a Bit as well as Peace Frog. Your winner right along the inside running rail, the green and red salts. Number 2, the Charleston, the United States filly out of Swift Dancer, bred by the Berlin Stud Farm. Congratulations to all the winning connections here. Just punched out into the closing stages. Went lengths clear of the rest of the field with Blue Holly, but it's number 2, the Charleston, who's going to come out on top for the opening leg of today's bipod.
Race 1, the Hollywood Bets Kenilworth welcomes you. Maiden Juvenile Plate has been won by number 2, the Charleston, daughter of the United States. The groom, Sandile Ngwena, he's received his R1,000 from Hollywood Bets and Cape Racing, so thank you very much to them. And then the winning jockey, Elder DeMeo, well done.
Thank you, Vicky.
You and Blue Holly locked horns quite a way out. Did you always think that you'd hit her?
Yeah, listen, I was going to bounce out and just go lead, but that filly on the inside seemed to be quite a bit quicker. And I always thought I had a measure. It was just a matter of getting my filly balanced. And her work suggested perhaps she wants a fraction further, so I was just electing to just allow her to use herself and go within a stride. And I wasn't going to get viciously after her. And the more I just allowed her to balance, the more she started finding. And yeah, like I said, I always had it under control.
Elder, do you think that the experience helps these juveniles?
Definitely makes a massive difference. She's been here a couple of times. She's been a bit green, despite her showing a bit at home. I told Candace today this filly's going to win. Never listens to me, but it's okay.
Candace says it's a lie.
I'm lying a little bit, but it doesn't matter. There were some nice horses in this race, so couldn't go in with too much confidence. But like you say, the experience obviously counted, and giving her half a chance today it all made all the difference today. And yeah, like I said, I don't think this was a slouch of a field. I think she done quite nicely, and I think there's something there. She shows a bit at home, but I think still quite a long way till we get to the ceiling. So to Mr. Owen, the Rileys, always lovely having him there. They're not just good-looking people; they seem to be nice guys too. So always a pleasure representing them. And to Candace, thanks for screaming at me yet again. This is how I have to start my day, but well done to everyone involved.
Oh, you tough as they come, Aldo. Nonsense. Candace, I think one thing, Aldo, he's a good jockey, but he also can give people a bit of a challenge. So well done for putting up with him.
Yeah, he's hard work. Vicky, she's obviously had the 2 runs. She's improved nicely with both her runs. And, there were a lot of first-timers today, so that was always going to be in her favour. I think, she hopped out the gates nicely today, and she was in contention most of the way. And, not as green as she was her first 2 starts. And she's out of a speedy family. She shows quite a bit of speed at home, and she's a nice early type. When I saw at the sales, I always thought that she was going to be nice and early, and she looked nice and fast. I like her pedigree. I think she'll keep improving as she goes along. She's got a super temperament, and so far so good. So very happy with her win today. And hopefully, there's that race coming up end of Feb, so we'll probably head towards that next, I think.
And as you're alluding to that, there's a check off screen, but I'll be handing those over to the owners. Well done, Candace.
Lovely. Well done to Brian and Fiona. They're both here today, which is lovely to have them. And to Barry, who I'm sure will be listening or watching. Well done. Both of them that, trusted me to come into this filly, so I'm glad that she's turned out to be okay.
She has indeed. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you could please come across and have a chat to me. She's, as Candace said, her temperament's lovely and her consistency's also.
Oh, absolutely. It was a really good ride. She pinged the gates, I thought, and then he settled her and then came strong at the end. So I thought Aldo did very well. He's still got a mouth on him. He must be very careful. We're walking in and he said, here I am surrounded by 3 fillies and Mr. Riley, which wasn't particularly nice, but I'll chat to him later.
Yes, give a little whisper in his ear there, but I think he's quite fresh. He's bounced back from the Charles Dickens weight loss.
Let's not talk about that.
But regarding the filly, as Candace said, lovely temperament and a nice filly to enjoy the bit of racing with.
No, lovely. I'm hoping she comes on from there. I think she will. I thought it was a decent field today, so it was a pretty good win, and they were 4 or 5 lengths ahead of the third horse. So it was a nice run by Cotson's horse as well. But I'd like to say congratulations to Barry Irwin. Apparently he's got a really good eye for a horse. And I got into this one and he followed with the 2/3, and I've got the third. So well done to him. I'm sure he'll be delighted.
I hope the filly goes on from here for you.
Thank you.
You've got a check to collect there, Bloodstock South Africa bonus, so well done.
Thank you.
And as Candace mentioned, end of Feb, have earmarked that race. Just to mention, number 2, the Charleston, the daughter of, well done, the daughter of the United States, the winner, Boerland Stud, bred the filly. Well done to Team Valor International, Barry Irwin and Miss Brian Riley, Elder de Meyer riding, and Sandile, the groomer board. But that was a good result first off. Next up, we'll move on to race 2. But MJ has a jockey with, let's get some feedback from him.